Hello, everybody, and welcome to the cast. We're going into it. Round of 16. Guys Gems versus ReGen. This is the ReGen Invitational. We're going to be casting this game today. A couple of good teams from the Nexus Gaming Series going to go at it head to head. We got them in the lobby. We're about to start the draft. This is my co-host, recurring Feer, aka just Feer, aka Feer.
Okay, here I am. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, bud. Welcome to the stream. It looks like we have to move the crown because it moved again. Gonna get into the draft right away. As you already know, this round of 16 will be played on Cursed Hollow. No map bans, no flipping for first pick. It just goes to the higher seed, which will be the blue side, aka ReGen. It looks like we're all ready to go. I am going to go ahead and get into the draft. Everybody, this is ReGen versus Guys Gems.
Yeah, man. So, what do you think we're gonna see? This is kind of a unique format tournament where the rounds have determined map picks. So, this first round we're gonna be on best of one Crystal Hollow. Second one we're gonna be on best of one Dragonshire. And these teams know this, so you think we're gonna have some pre-prepared little maybe cheeky strategies going in here, or just more standard macro play?
Probably more standard macro play. These teams are. I'm not really sure which division they're from. I was not informed, unfortunately. But it is going to be Cursed Hollow, which is, in my opinion, the macro map. Not so much very niche strategies that lets you like kind of dominate this map. You really just need to be able to move around and perform the rotations, either taking tributes or taking bosses to try to get your team rolling. So once again, it is ReGen banning first on the blue side, taking it right down to the timer. I expect something like a Maya ban. Nope.
Sonya. And just a reminder, we are playing on live, so we have Maya nerfs are live, Sonya slight nerfs are live, all of that stuff. The bunker, 1 second exit time, these are all live nerfs. So Sonya ETC, something seems a little different than what we're used to seeing for those 1-2 nerfs at the last couple weeks.
Yeah, and the Dahaka priority, like I said, this is a large map. You want to be able to control the lanes, and having a global, very strong global like Dahaka is going to do a lot to make that happen. We have seen a lot of Falstad in Eastern play. Wow, actually, a Nubrak Electraz. The team's focusing the tanks right now. Interesting.
Extremely odd draft so far. I was really thinking high Abathur priority. Then I see with the Dahaka, and Dahaka does play well into Abathur, tends to counter Abathur pretty well. But then a Nubrak Electraz that seems fairly out of the blue. I mean, a Nubrak sort of indicates something extremely dive focused, but perhaps it's more just of a double frontline team they're going to be focusing on. I don't know. That's something we haven't been seeing a lot lately. So curious to see how that unfolds.
And that could be a pick in response to the what happens on this map. You do have a lot of situations where poke is a priority, and a Nubrak actually handles poke very well by being able to block skill shots with beetles, and or he is shielding, on-demand shielding. But he does have a level 1 talent for Spell Shield, which will help mitigate the amount of poke damage he actually takes. Down to the wire, it's going to be the K9 unit himself and Malfurion. Not something unexpected. The other team already picked their support, which means they had the opportunity to either ban Malfurion or Stukov away, which would have been pretty terrible for the side of ReGen.
Yeah, to leave even Malfurion open, as I was thinking in the initial picks, where we've been seeing a lot of Maiev, and Malfurion has been another super high priority. So to see Guys Gems prioritizing Alexstrasza over Mal is interesting as well. I feel like ReGen is more leaning on a little bit of standard play, and I'm interested to see what would coming out in the 3-4 from Guys Gems.
Yeah.
And just I don't really know. You can go full aggressive. Genji's available. Greymane is taken away, and Greymane is particularly good against Genji could go, something very dive heavy. I think it's going to be a little more leaned back. A second bruiser or tank, and then maybe a Junkrat backline or something along those lines.
Okay, no Johanna. So kind of getting rid of a tank that excels against dive comps. I think I would have liked to see a Tracer ban. Very deadly when you have a Malfurion on the side of ReGen.
Oh, yeah.
And could have been pretty disastrous for someone like Alexstrasza, who doesn't really have an escape plan and has to kind of fight on a point. So Tracer very easily able to bruiser herself into there. Got to be a Tychus ban, though. That tells me that ReGen is going to look for another tank. Well, obviously they're going to look for another tank, but they're looking for another bruiser most likely. Trying to make sure there isn't that really easy anti-tank measure available for the side of Guys Gems. I feel like I'm saying their name wrong. It should be like Guys Gems.
Guys Gems.
It should be like a pause.
Guys Gems. Yeah, like I feel I was looking at it first. I said I don't really understand that name, and then I realized like, oh, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Like, guys, Gems, come on. We gotta be clearing lanes. I've said that before. So I don't know. What was I gonna say?
I don't feel like Alexstrasza does a good enough job healing dive heroes. She has that.
I agree.
She has that big healing circle. It's like, hey, you got to come back to me. I got to heal you here, or you got to be on this spot, which means her heals are essentially telegraphed. So, wow, actually, gonna see the Azmodan and the Artanis.
Sit back. I mean, I predicted the Junkrat because who could predict the Azmodan here? So they're really going delay. Artanis is an odd pickup too. I mean, I like it. I think Artanis can be strong.
So I actually really like Artanis with Alexstrasza because he has that kind of self-shielding where like he can get it up constantly, and he loves to keep fighting on top of you. So it actually makes it really easy for him to kind of stay inside the circle as long as he's hitting somebody. And because of that, it's like, oh, I'll get a shield, then I get a heal, then I get a shield, then I get a heal, then I get a shield.
Yeah.
And then
percentage base, he has pretty decent life pool, and he's gonna excel in the PvE aspect. I mean, he can really, with amateur opponent at 1, which is almost exclusively picked. Like,
yeah,
he can easily do camps. He's gonna crush the camps, but really, he's crushed those bosses down. Like, so much DPS to the bosses. I still think so. What do we have coming in to round out? Of course, we haven't spoken about ReGen at all. But ReGen just rounding, like, that is such a standard, good, solid draft from ReGen. Like, very Cursed Hollow, very not out of the ordinary, stuff that works. Muradin so strong over the barriers here. Li Ming so good at poking. Malf is just objectively strong. So is Greymane, and you have Dahaka in the global. And now Tracer being left as the last pick. And I think I think that can be pretty effective here.
Yeah. On the side of Guys Gems, we have a lot of strong poke the later the game goes on. I think they have a little bit of a stronger wave clear on the side of Guys Gems, but the reset potential from like a Li Ming, Greymane, that's just going to be monstrous. If at any point, they are able to like lock down Tracer and just quickly kill her, I feel like Guys Gems is just not going to have that kill pressure that they need from Cody Kraz. So getting into it, we're going into game 1, Cursed Hollow. Boys and girls, this is ReGen versus Guys Gem, round of 16 in the ReGen Invitational.
I actually think Guys Gems made a mistake here. They really should have gone for Anna or Alarak on that last pick, possibly Arthas. Then they could have completed the A hero team. They went Tracer. Artanis, Alexstrasza, Azmodan, Nubarak, so close. Tracer.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
So close. Maybe next time.
We do see that kind of portrait synergy. Get the triple dragon with the Alexstrasza, and then Artanis ruining it with the Sylvanas. And of course, on the side of ReGen, you got the green Nexus symbols with So Lucky with the crown. So I mean, that must be their king player right there. So
yeah, that's So Lucky is the crown, and he manages to get right on top.
So lucky of him.
I mean, calculated is all I have to say.
All right, boys and girls. So, on the blue side, we do have ReGen. It is going to be Repsychic on Malfurion, Rain on the Muradin, Professor Bobo on the Greymane, So Lucky on Li Ming, and Murda on Dahaka.
And on the right side, we have guys, Gems,
The battle begins.
Prometheus on Artanis, Cody Kraz playing the Tracer, Spoogles on a Noob Iraq, Swish playing Alexstrasza, and Odin going to be bringing it home on the Azmodan. What are we seeing out of Azmodan? Sieging Wrath. So not going the creep kill stacking, but Sieging Wrath, which I think actually is a little bit of a more middle of the road, reasonable choice from Azmodan. The creep stacking is insanely powerful if you get it up.
Yeah, and look at Odin right here. Dropping the minions, just getting some cheeky damage onto the wall. Murda going to come out. But, you know, getting a third of the health of the tower, or a fourth of the health of the tower is not a bad trade. You know, I think Azmodan's a great solo laner against Dahaka.
Look at him sneaking the creep past there, too, just getting 10, 20 damage on the...
Oh, Cody Kraz walking into this death bush. Rain's going to get the stun. The blink. Nope, the root doesn't come out. Almost finishes her with the orb on the back line. Barely slipping out alive.
Oof, I mean, that's one of those clench moments as Tracer where you just smash on your E and hope that you're in a favorable position. But you have to be careful of those rotations, and ReGen already showing that they're going to be looking for picks, and they have such a good team for it. So much CC and burst.
Yeah, and like I said, we do have the spell shield out of Spoogles, so, you know, he does handle poke very well. Switch very easily able to keep him up. Not really much Greymane Murden can do in this moment to kind of keep him off. Murda, though, taking a lot of damage from Odin, though Odin's actually at only a third of his mana cost, and that is the issue for an Azmodan early game. You know, until you get a lot of your mana reduction talents, it is very hard to kind of dominate a lane too strongly, because you will run out of mana very quickly.
Yeah, and I think we're not going to see too much actual action going on. There's not a lot of rotation. Tracer and Greymane just taking the camps as his standard here before the first tribute. And so the first tribute actually, out of the favor of ReGen, the first tribute is on bottom, and that is where the Hawk is, so he's not going to be able to utilize the ability to stay in lane and get maybe a couple, probably one extra wave of soak before rotating down to the tribute. So it's something to be aware of as this first tribute's going to spawn.
Yeah, and Azmodan actually running pretty low on mana. Murda doing a good job of keeping his life pretty healthy, but it is a siege camp now on top of an Azmodan who actually is very good at sieging with his... Murda actually taking a lot of damage, took a double bomb from the siege camp. Half his HP, has to pop his passive. He has to be able to clear the siege camp out pretty quickly because we are going to have our first tribute here in just about 30 seconds.
Yeah, and that's, you know, it's not the end of the world, but it's really not what Dahaka wants to be happening leading into this first tribute. You want to have a good store of essence up, and now Odin is really pushing down this lane. Vertus sips on the fountain, but you want to have a bit of essence ready for the team fight, so you can take a little bit of poke and manage to pop your essence and get healed up in the middle of the team fight. But it looks like we are going to have a skirmish. Tannis is still top, so I don't know if there's going to be a lot of poking with orb globes, but ReGen has a really good position on this.
Yep. And we do see Cody Kraz does have the bomb. Rain actually taking a lot of damage. Swish actually caught out. Dahaka getting the grab. Bobo going to take the bomb from Murden, not going to drop anyone, doing a lot of damage to Cody. It is now a 4v5, and the siege camp is free pushing top. No one available to clear it. Spoogles, no healer available, taking a lot of damage. Tracer once again getting grabbed by the Dahaka. The root comes out, and he is done for. That's going to be 2 kills and a tribute, plus the top lane getting pushed out by the siege camp.
Yeah, that's a really tough exchange to swallow for guys' Gems. Losing the Alexstrasza early, I think they really just wanted to evac as much as they could. But Methia's going to be rotating top in time to stop this siege camp push from Murda. Yeah, not the greatest start, and now a favorable spawn for ReGen coming to the second tribute, although the experience gap is minimal.
I had to switch the game over to color on undo colorblind mode. Everyone's like, "Why is the game colors different?" Anyway, guys, we're back to it. It's blue and red. Next tribute in 15 seconds. All tied up actually on the experience. Azmodan doing a wonderful job, you know, keeping them evened up in this game, and actually taking the minion buff at level 7 on Azmodan instead of the
might get caught in the bush
increase.
here. Cody Kraz, no, he's gonna be fine. He's close enough to that wall. But with the 4 members rotating all together, not wanting to get caught. Cody Kress taking quite a bit of post damage. The Impale is not going to connect from a new wreck, and Li Ming just doing Li Ming things on this map. Always got to watch the swap. Oh, very good blink. Murder coming in the backside, however. Murden has also jumped in, but Dragon Queen's going to be popped. There's going to be tons of value coming out of Alex here in this team fight. Driving back, ReGen, and then the Pulse Bomb connecting onto Greymane. I mean, what a beautiful Dragon Queen switch there. Just perfect. He got so much value out of his heals. He was auto-attacking, healing everybody, doing tons of damage, using his abundance, and just, that was...
You know what? And a great move on them, too. Get the Greymane kill knowing that they have a lot less kill pressure with Justin Li Ming and just rushing boss. Amateur opponent, Odin with Azmodan, you know, it's just melting. Already at quarter HP. Though there is a strong push about to hit the wall in the mid lane. They do need to get this and kind of get out. So, going to collect it. You know, it's going to take that little bit of an experience hit. But the tribute is on their end, so they will be able to clear this out while fighting over the tribute. Actually, their wall's taking a lot of damage. Not very good. The closer that ReGen is level 10, the harder it will be for them to keep up with this. Cody Crash just walking in, you know, making sure he gets some shots off. His bomb is available to him. Clearing up the top lane, though.
Good job just controlling the area. Wow, I mean, this boss got cleared out extremely quickly by, well, Greymane has now switched to the wave. I was going to say, Greymane managed to DPS this boss down, but they're just going to let the fort finish it off. Spoogle's getting a nice impale onto Murden. Now Malfurion is exposed to Tracer. Tracer closing the gap, and Pulse Bomb is available in just a couple more seconds. I think he just needs to take a shot or two. No, actually, it's fully charged, so...
Yeah, it was fully charged the whole time.
It just looked like the top frame wasn't filled, but I see it was. So that's odd. Well, it's odd that he didn't stick him there. I really thought he was going to go for the kill, but Cody Kress was deciding to play it safe.
ReGen does have a slight advantage, though, you know, a little bit closer to level 10. And unfortunately for them, though, this tribute won't spawn for about another minute. So Guy's Gem should be able to soak 10 in that time. Both camps coming out on the side of Guy's Gems. You know, the hard camp is, in my opinion, the best camp to push with, especially if you have an Azmodan. I really kind of hope they come here mid and actually push with this, because if you look at it, Li Ming's about to show top. Greymane is obviously on the camp because Dahaka is showing. Push with this, get these towers down, maybe get Fountain down, but you know, just gonna go ahead and let them clear it out. 10s are available for the side of both teams actually now, so we are at
10, and ReGen is gonna want to fight over this.
Interesting. We are seeing Cursed Bullet and Demonic Invasion. Oh man, I can't wait for him to drop all the minis.
Okay, so this is gonna be really fun. We do have a Coon. We have an Impale coming out onto the front line of ReGen. Spoogle's taking a ton of damage early on in this fight, but Li Ming just getting dropped in the back line with the rewound into the root, and Murden's also taking a lot of damage. He probably has more cards available. Arcanus Laser just burning down Mouse in the back line, unable to move away, and now Greymane's getting swapped by Arcanus.
Wow, and you know what? They're going to drop down. They're going to go ahead and take this boss. You know, they're right on top of it. Not normally something I would agree to, but because they are right on top of it, it is better suited to them doing it right now instead of waiting. Especially since they lost both Malfurion and Greymane. Greymane dying before he even got his ultimate off. You know, he did take Cursed Bullet to try and kill these tanks, and unfortunately not going to get any value out of it. But if you saw during that fight, Li Ming just got dropped by the Tracer Bomb. You know, nothing she could do about it.
A little unfortunate that that Tracer did end up rewinding into the root and falling himself, but ultimately not too much of an advantage going to either team. I mean, this is a curse. This boss is definitely going to be knocking on the bottom keep wall, and the bruiser camps will also be able to be taken for Guy's Gems, but experience is very even for a first curse being over. Even in games where experience tends to be very even, there's usually more like a level and a half lead post first curse, but the boss is very high HP. There's probably going to be engagement here. Murden jumping into the backline, stunning Arcanus, but still very high health. Spoogle's just completely melting. Twilight Dream coming out. Azmodan just going all in on this keep. Arcanus falling as well, so a little bit of an overstay from Guy's Gems. Thinking that they had more potential to take this keep. And here comes the Demonic Invasion! And they are all gonna die in about...
I love this. I love this. He bought them that keep. He bought them that keep. Died, but got the keep. Glory to Odin getting the keep for his team.
Right. That was beautiful. And did you see how early in the team fight he identified, like, I'm Asmodean. What am I doing? You know, my team is losing this fight. My value is in pushing this fort. And I mean, a brilliant play by a macro player, you know, to just say like, oh, this is the loss, but I can get the keep here. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And excellent thought process on his end. You know, they realized, oh shoot, we stayed too late. You know, Anubrak dying very quickly in that fight, followed by the Artanis. I do believe the Dragon Queen did get away, but great on him though. You know, like that demonic invasion, you saw it, does so much damage, 80 or 180 damage per impact, and then able to do 88 damage per grunt a second on the Nexus, or on the
Is that
keep.
really how much damage they did? That is insane.
It does a ton of damage.
It was funny because they all died very quickly to the disintegrate as well, but they definitely managed to get a ton of damage in.
Yeah,
I mean,
and not even just that, it's the fact that they had to use so much damage to clear that and couldn't clear the boss at the same time. So it just made the boss that much more effective though. It does look like ReGen is invading underneath them, trying to play some bush strategies. Minions are going to check that out. Rain, unfortunately, not going to get the surprise on anybody. Tracer onto Greymane, going to take quite a bit of damage. Gets the bomb off, avoids the tongue. Bobo, though, at half HP. Going to go ahead and walk away, though. Teams are going to separate, you know, reset. Watch out for the orb, taking a lot of damage.
yeah, now with the Malfurion, their bow is going to be able to be topped off. I don't think there's going to be an engagement, but the tribute is spawning way down bottom, and I think this is a ploy by ReGen to keep Guy's Gems here and then possibly rotate Murda down. Or maybe Guy's Gems is just really wants to force the issue on this boss. Rain getting in pretty deep, Spoogles hitting a nice impale, Bobo going way onto the backline, or actually Kraz going way onto the backline, getting a little bit punished, taking quite a bit of health. He's going to have to go and tap here. That's going to fill him up fully.
Yeah.
But it looks like ReGen's identifying the Tracer's not here. He misses the Storm Bolt, however. Spoogle's going to be the focus, taking a lot of damage. Oh, and the tongue is perfect to finish it off. The Dragon Queen cast too long, not able to get his Q off to save Anubrak in time. Now he's going to be going up into his Emerald Dream ultimate, and Greymane, not much happening there. But actually, Greymane is a slightly out of position to get swapped. But they're actually core taking damage on the side of ReGen. There was like siege camp with catapults down there. The core's at 55%.
Yeah, and if you didn't see it, actually, I believe they just got a fort mid as well due to the demonic invasion not having a duration. They kind of walked away from it up there in the middle bush at topside and couldn't really do anything about it. Now, next tribute is right here. They are going to try and sniff out this boss. Unfortunately, it's at 4th of an HP. They just need to finish it. Odin in the bush, delaying things. Artanis going to be able to finish it off. Asmodean taking a ton of damage, going to fall. Cody actually in super much trouble. Twilight Dream comes out, silences the Nubrak, gets hit. No, actually doesn't get hit by the stun. Greymane goes down. It is now a 4v4. Spoogle's excellent stun to interrupt the Rain jumping into the backline. Are going to walk away, but that is a boss in the favor of Guy's Gems.
Wow, that was an incredibly good job in the 4v5 situation of managing to kill Greymane there. I kind of missed how he actually ended up falling. And Asmodean just completely unfortunate. Getting caught in the boss route, which I believe led into a Malfurion route follow-up. And that's just a really bad place to be.
Cody Kraz almost just died to the hard camp because the healer wasn't there. They are going to be able to clear out that boss pretty well. He should get a tower or two, though. You know, it at least opens up that lane a little bit. Next tribute should go the side of Guy's Gems. Rain down here, just making sure they're not making a double boss attempt. Nope, doesn't even get the tower. They actually managed to clear it out fast enough. You know, mirror ball out of Li Ming. By the way, that is Alpha Killer on the side of Greymane, which means he is going to do a ton of damage to these tanks on the side of Guy's Gems. Oh, actually, ripping their boss.
We have a bunch of interesting talents coming out here. We have Tunneling Claws from Dahaka, which I'm a big fan of, especially under bosses and any hold point kind of situations. And we are seeing the Tissue Regeneration, which I haven't seen a lot. You know, usually the bigger map, the race car Dahaka talent is the one that's chosen at level 1. that lets you run around and gain the move speed. But I have seen Glaurung from Tempo Storm using this tissue regeneration. Seems to be an up and coming Dahaka approach.
Yeah, and what it is, it just gives him that much more tankiness. You know, the extra regen, 10 regen, becomes huge later on. But even in just the lane, the extra HP 5, like, and we saw it against an Azmodan who's just constantly bullying him. You know, he just has so much regen. His life never really dipping down.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the idea.
And not to mention, every regen globe then gives him 10 essence, which is huge. It is 16-16, slightly in favor of the side of True. No, sorry, not True Gods. Regen. I don't know where that came out of. But we do have 16 talents available, so that's pretty big. Really interesting. Not going to see Epicenter on the side of Anubrak. That is Debilitation, which means anytime he hits you with Bro Charge, you will do 50% reduced spell damage. Spoogle's actually going to go ahead and walk forward. Cursed Bullet coming out, going to hit the spell shield. He's taking a lot of damage, going to get tongued. Quarter HP. Silence going to fall. Tracer, unfortunately, not able to finish the main. The Twilight Dream kind of peeling her. Cleansing Dragon coming out. Only hitting the tanks, not noticing So Lucky in the background, so low. Almost could have finished her.
So Lucky and Recyclic were both so low, but now Li Ming with the turn. Artanis is going to be taking a ton of damage. Gets his trade available. No, Rain jumping in. Press to get a kill, but Cody jumping back into the back line and getting Murd and getting the heal just in time. That was...
Well, that's actually huge. We're about to have a buffed up siege camp and catapults hitting the core. Oh, just the one camp going to hit the core, not going to do any damage. They do have to defend that, though. Guys, Gems, though, getting the tribute once again. I believe it's only one tribute going in the favor of ReGen.
I mean, and I gotta give, a lot of credit to Odin. The amount of map pressure this player has created on this map the entire time is staggering. And it's the kind of thing where you see Azmodan and you kind of laugh a bit. And this happens to me in my games all the time. But then if the player really just, we saw it right there where he identified that keep kill. He just knows how to play it. But Murda actually going for the tongue on Cody Krause, barely dodging away with his blink. But look at the lanes. Like, there's not been a point where all the little minions are not just pushed way up in the side of the map. Rain gonna be jumping in, trying to get some damage on this blue ghost. And I gotta say, there's been a lot of discussion in the chat about Cursed Bullet versus Gildo's Rook in this matchup, but Cursed Bullet's been getting tons of value onto a new Barak in the front line.
Yeah, and you gotta remember too, if he gets onto Azmodan, who does not have a Spiel Shield, who actually I believe has more health than both Anubrak or Artanis, it is a lot of value. I believe it's 40%, 35% of his current HP. So
35%. And with the Cursed Bullet, I don't think is affected by the Anub Smell Shield. If you Cursed Bullet onto a naked 100% or a Nubarak, I believe it's still going to put him down to 65% because it's percentage damage.
Oh man, popping the demonic army on the wall, making sure he gets a little bit of damage to that keep. Taking actually a third of its HP at this point to the keep. That's actually really good on the side of Azmodan. They have really decent poke with his orbs and whatnot. Murda actually coming out of the bush, trying to get a poke. Actually gonna get dismounted by the laser. Gonna grab the Artanis. Boom! There she goes. Cursed Bullet right there, guys. So much value. You saw Artanis' health just drop the second he was grabbed. Excellent pick by ReGen.
That was one of those, when I'm playing Dahaka, I'm behind that Artanis, I'm just going, this tongue is not going to hit. This tongue is not going to hit. But he just barely got him right on the max range of the tongue. And now ReGen is going to be moving into a offensive boss play onto the side of Guys Gems. But it's a 4v5. I think they're going to be untouched in this attempt.
Yeah, but you remember, once again, Odin going for the push.
Yeah, look at mid. With the wave is gone. He's got the general up. Curse is spawning, but it's not a curse point. Bottom's got 2 catapults built up with a general. And Odin himself with the bruiser camp in mid lane. They're just going to ignore this and push.
Cody Cry's actually trying to solo the hard camp. A little risky as a tracer. He takes a lot of damage there. Odin actually going to come in and support him. Pull some of the damage off of him. The orbs keep coming in, doing as much damage to this keep. Actually, it's at a quarter of HP now. Holy jeez. Grayman actually going to peel off, try to help defend, but this is a hard camp now pushing in.
I thought this might be the case too. That Tracer did take is that a health pack, which is one of my absolute favorite talents. It can get insane value if you don't really have a healer that can keep up with you all
the time. Man, the demonic army. And you know what we talked about earlier?
What can you do?
Artanis wave clear, or boss clear at least, with the triple strike now on top of amateur opponent. You know, doing an excellent job of keeping themselves in this game. 45% lead on the core. If this ever becomes a core rush, which I'm actually predicting, I do believe this game will go in the favor of Guy's Gems. And here's a second boss, but there's still a fort for the side of Guy's Gems. So
I feel like Guy's Gems is just gonna. They don't even feel like they need. They're waiting on this boss. Well, I'm not sure how aware of they are, but they just got 20. And look at
this camp doing so much damage to Murda. 100% damage increase to these catapults. Oh man, if they ever reach the core, it'll be great.
You can't do anything. Look at him just trying to clear the whole time. Asmodee has picked up the forced recruitment talent, which has reduced the cooldown of general by an additional 10 seconds, and you gain additional charge. They're just pushing them into oblivion.
Yeah, and you know what? They're realizing, hey, we have catapults in the bot lane. We don't really need to defend this boss. I mean, Cody Christ looks like he is going to come down here. His pulse bomb is fully charged, so doesn't need to charge it, but just to make sure it dies a little faster. Rain trying to catch somebody out once again. You know, luckily they are moving together, knowing full well if a pick is created, it could be the end of their team. Rain still trying to find a rotation closer for the side of the Guy's Gems, but you know they're just going to go ahead and clear this boss out. Alex moving down here to help Tracer.
Very high HP. And now the push finally shifting a little bit more towards it. You know, not in the favor of ReGen, but it's a little more even. They've got this top lane pushed out where they have no catapults, but you can't. The general plus catapult pressure. Look at 2 generals in this bottom lane with the catapult. I don't think those buffs stack.
They do not.
They do not, so I wouldn't expect them to. But these generals themselves do so much damage. 2 catapults coming down the mid lane. I think, actually, though, if ReGen does manage to grab Curse here, it would greatly improve their situation. And if they can manage to, of course, get if either team can manage to get a big wipe, the game could just end right on the spot.
And you know what? They're going to look to just delay. Look at Asmodee moving now in. Greymane actually backing off. He is pretty forward, though. They just saw him. I believe they do know he's trying to push there. No, actually, they're going to turn around. Yeah, that's double catapults. Asmodee's going to move in. They're just going to delay this. No one has retreated to go and defend. Twilight Dream goes wide. Misses everybody. Only Dahaka defending core. We have double catapults with the general. Going down 20, 15, 10, 5. Odin for the win. Just walks away. Goes for the core. GG. Guy's Gem taking the best of 1 against ReGen. Excellent movement by Odin. Making sure he always gets that Asmodee value. And you're looking at the score screen right here. Most siege, most hero damage, and highest XP if you don't count Murda. GG, guys.
Murda, though, doing 70,000 more siege damage and gaining 4,000 more experience overall, but just not able to keep up, and you're not factoring in the generals and stuff. So again, I said, do you think we're going to see some standard macro play here, or do you think we're going to see something like a little more engineered? And I mean, that was macro play, but that was certainly engineered. I mean, the power of Division C on display is absolutely right. I mean, color me impressed. I think that was fantastic, dude.
No, absolutely fantastic movement by Guy's Gems. You know, Odin taking that keep after knowing he was already dead, constantly hitting the middle keep and just whittling it down. Finally, they decide to just go ahead and delay the enemy team. No one backs off except for Murda to prevent Odin from doing what he did. And the second those catapults hit the core with 100% damage reduction, it was just over. You see how fast it went down? Oh my god.
Yeah, it was, I mean, and he played it so patiently. He would move in, he would see they backed off the tribute. You'd see him mount up, move away towards the fog of war area so that they couldn't see him. Then when Guy's Gems moved in to capture the tribute, the team of ReGen would move back down. Asmodee immediately recognizing it, putting himself back in the lane, and he just was very patient. He wasn't just all in on pushing. He was extremely smart. His call to just rush the keep on that lost team fight in bottom, I think, defined the whole game. The fact that he got that keep, the pressure with Asmodee and the generals he just put his general in any lane which had catapults, and the pressure was so insane that Dahaka had to spend pretty much the entire time cleaning up generals and catapults, and it just left Azmodan to actually push the top lane, and just there was so much pressure. I mean,
yeah,
I never want to play against that. I never want to play against that ever.
There is a Zagara one trick, not really, but he definitely plays a lot of it. His name's Baker11B, and they actually have.
I know Baker.
You know Baker.
I know Baker.
They actually have a composition they like to pull out in Team League. I believe it's 5 specialists on Cursed Hollow, and you basically just move around the map and have total lane pressure no matter what lane you're in, because typically most specialists have that kind of like power over other heroes. Mm-hmm. And the one time I've seen them play it, it was just so disgusting, and they won it like level 9 on Cursed Hollow. They won it like level 9. I was just, wow, like I can't believe that worked, and it's so crazy. And then, you know what a lot of it is? It's that Azmodan push power. You know, you get that general out, his minions now have more HP, they do more damage. Oh man, excellent use of that character's niche in that game to just go ahead and make sure they close it out really quickly.
I mean, that to me is mastery of a hero. You know, people talk about, you know, you hit the skill shots and this and that, and you play different heroes play differently, right? You play a Genji, you gotta learn to when to be aggressive and when not to. But to play a macro hero like that with such refinement, I mean, it's very impressive. He really has that down to a science.
Yeah, and with that, Guys Gem's going to go ahead and go to the quarterfinal. I believe they have a game coming up in another 20 minutes. They will face Jailbait. Unfortunately, we will not be casting that game. We're going to be casting a game that has yet to be played. I believe it's Divine 9 versus ReGen Red versus Victoria's Secret, who actually won last night. They had to play the game a little early. I guess they couldn't make the time this morning. But they are going to be playing today at 11 a.m. We are going to go ahead and forward the stream over, I believe, to actually Murda's stream. I'm trying to find it right now. You intro left. My picture is frozen.
I'm just stuck. I'm like, am I really slouching so hard? Like,
there we go. I fixed it. I just had to like I had to like reopen Skype real quick because it was like weirdly frozen.
You look like a real boy, and I just look like I'm very sad.
Let me find Murda's stream. I know it's on here somewhere. I'm just trying to find it. Here we go. Murda RG. That's what it is. I'm like, oh man, I just can't remember what it is. What's going on? My Chrome is frozen? Is unresponsive. Relaunch now. Yes. Chrome's being weird. I don't know.
So what is the game we're going to be moving into?
So we're going to be following Murda RG as he casts Divine 9 versus ReGen Red. And then we will be casting the winner of that game versus Victoria's Secret. So we're actually going to get a break for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
I am going to go ahead and forward us over again, once again, to Murda. Thank you guys for playing the game and joining us in the ReGen Invitational. We will be right back in about 30 minutes with the next game. Bringing it over, go ahead and follow Murda RG.